Hey guys, can you hear me? Anybody in here? Hey, what's up, Attentive Slug? How's the microphone sound? Sound good? Levels okay? All right, 1 o'clock. Cool, good to go. All right, I am going to start the show after I drink some water. All up in your face. What's up, everyone? Okay, so I'm going to took a vote. Took one last time, took one this time to see what I should talk about on this episode. And it was more Bishop poly painting or a little Rick and Morty, which I'm surprised. Bishop won pretty handily, but Rick and Morty had a good showing. So I will start off by showing you what you're not going to see. Maybe not. Let's see. Open QuickTime Player. Oh, it's open already. Yeah. So I was going to work on this. It's very rough right now. Just have things kind of blocked in, but you know, I'll get to that next time, I guess. So, bye, Rick and Morty. You guys are losers. You're losers. Let me open up Bishop and we can get started. It's kind of laid back today. I'm gonna try to keep it kind of high energy, but yeah, you know. What's up? Let's see who we got in here. Xeno Shadow, Auxiliary, Sophia, Mid-Moxon. What's going on? Yep. Okay. So let's open up some stuff here. ZBrush. Okay, we got Bishop. And when we left off last time, we had him poly painted in the face. Right, so that's the face. And facial hair, which I'm definitely going to, probably should start off by kind of making that look a little more presentable, because right now it looks real whack. And the blocked out colors for the rest of him. He's looking kind of clowny right now, but I'm gonna fix that frame. Okay, and you have to forgive me, I have a new monitor here with an insane huge resolution, so all of my icons and type are super small, so you're gonna see me doing a lot of this to try to see what's going on, because I can't see this little tiny type, but it's all good. Do the hair, do the hair, do the hair. All right, let's see what we got for the hair. I could do the hair. Where is it? Okay. First thing we got to get, let's do his arms first, because they're skin and it's looking kind of weird with red, but I'll circle back around to the hair and the facial hair. And let's just block in some color on these pants right quick, because it's looking kind of whack. Get my Pure Ref over here. Yes, I am using Pure Ref this time and not Quadro. I like this better. Okay, pants. Got the pants. Let's get some color and fill these bad boys. Only thing about Pure Ref is that it always seems to be right where the drop downs are, and I have it always set to always on top, so it covers everything. But where was I? Color, color, color. Fill. That's better, a little bit better. All right, let's get to these guns. drop it down to lowest res first, and probably make things move a little faster. Okay. That, let's take the head too so I can see what he's supposed to look like. And take the mouth sack as well. Alright, that's scary. Let's flip that. I'm going to turn off everything except for what I need here. So we'll keep his eyes on, and I think we're good. Just put that back up to high res. All high, cool. All right, and go back to my pure ref, and let's get some muscle action going on here. It's a grainy picture. Oh no, it's just super high res. All right. What kind of monitor? I can't say what kind of monitor. It's cool though. Not mine, but I am beta testing, not beta testing, but doing a little testing on this thing, which is dope. All right, so what did we do last time? We did our clown colors. Let's do that this time too. Spray. And I have just, nope, did it again. Don't do that. Standard brush, always choose that first. Turn down the intensity. Let's get an alpha. Use alpha 21. That's what we're looking for. Alright, let's just kind of all I'm going to do is just look for some of those areas that are a little lower on the arm, and put some blue in there just to push them back, those shadow areas, kind of like I did last time. And it's messy. It's always going to be messy until it matters. Doesn't matter right now. So if anyone wasn't here for the last stream, I did the face the exact same way. If we zoom into the face, this all started off with reds and blues and yellows, and then we kind of just went in and, you know, started detailing, put some brown over top of it, and you can see that the, you know, those greens, which were what happened when I put the yellowy brown over top of the blue areas, you know, you can still see some of those areas. The reds kind of pop through, the yellows and things like that. And this is all a technique which I did not make up. I learned this from Maddie Scott Spencer. I have a book which was like one of the first books I bought on Introduction to ZBrush, and it's pretty great. So that's that one. Should probably do both of these at the same time. You guys gotta forgive me. I really thought I'd be working on Rick and Morty right now. I love Bishop, But this is why I never finish anything, because I bounce around. I'm like, started on one thing, and then I kind of see something shiny over in the corner and decide I want to work on that for a while. That's why I have like 20 models that I've started and have never finished. See if we have any questions. I haven't looked over here in a while. What's up, the Gruber? What kind of monitor? Oh, I already said I couldn't say. Let's see. What's a good Wacom tablet? I would recommend for beginners using ZBrush. The Intuos is very cool for beginners. That's the one that doesn't have the screen built in. But I had an Intuos 6x9 for most of my career, and got a Cintiq maybe 2 years ago. So the Cintiq is the one that has the screen built in, and it's really nice. Looks like I voted. Yeah, I know, Juliet Hemingway. I know. Do you work on the face color scene more since last time? Yeah, I think since last time, what I did was I just went in, and you can see the back of his head is still rough. You know, the red is still poking through. I didn't really spend a whole lot of time on it, but I just went in and kind of painted into his scar on his face, the burn. And what else did I do? I don't want to paint on him. Let's see. Let's pull this up a little bit. Make it nice and big. Did a cavity mask so I could get some of the pores. And that was, that was easy since they're already in there. Went in and kind of detailed the scar on his chin and did his lips a little bit. So this still wouldn't be done for me, but it's far enough along that I can move on. One thing I was saying last week, if you weren't here, is that I don't like to spend too much time on either a 2D or a 3D painting in one area. I like to move around and kind of work it all up in a consistent rate. And then once I get to a point where I'm happy with everything looking like this, I'll go in and really go crazy on it. Another thing I did on his forehead, I can show you guys this now. For the lighter areas, one thing that's pretty cool is I can take my brush and go to just a freehand stroke and choose the alpha of where is it? Alpha. The one that looks like veins. Oh, here it is, 45, right? So select the alpha 45, and I can let's grab more of the reddish, the reddish area of the brown. Grab that. So, Attentive Slug, I see you asking about the skin texture. It was no texture. This was just kind of painting. Until you get this look. But I'm going to turn the intensity down kind of low here, and alright, maybe not red. I want it to be a little more towards the, let's see what this looks like. Alright. A little green, but I turn it down super low, make it a little larger. And what I want to do is start getting some, I don't know if you guys can see this or not because the opacity is really low. Maybe turn it up a little bit more. I want to get some of that veining that's going to just break up the skin. So the good thing about it is if it throws the color off, I'll just come in with another color on top, but you're adding multiple layers of texture and color, not bump texture, but just color noise that looks like, if you look at look at your skin, it's not just brown, it's or beige or whatever, it's a whole bunch of things going on. So I'm going to maybe now come in with something more like this, put that in there, just break up some of these reds. It looks really good where there's solid areas, so I'll come over here where I have my red and
you can see, just start to break that up a little bit. I think towards the neck I don't have as much geometry, so it might get kind of, you know, flat down in these areas, but I know in the head I have a ton of poly, so it supports it. If you're new to poly painting in ZBrush, it's going to, your paint is going to depend completely on your resolution, right? So this this head is in probably like 1 million, maybe 1.5 million polys, so it can support me doing little tiny details. The ears is another place to really kind of get in there and mess around, make it look nice. So I found my ear that was missing the other day. Right, and it doesn't matter that it's the wrong skin tone, because what I'm looking at is just little details, and you know, let's punch that up. Actually, it might be a little easier if it was an African American ear. Sorry, this monitor is new, so if I do a whole bunch of jumping around, it's because I'm getting used to it. Images. Sorry, looking for an ear. There's a good one. So let's see, can I drag it right into Pure Ref? Oh, sweet. All right. Let's bring that down. Not the highest res, but it'll work. And now I lost my Twitch. There it is. Any questions? Hey, what's up, Pro? Did you work on the face color? Oh, I already answered that one. Yeah. I'm very short attention span. So and looking at mine right now, it looks very warm. I'm probably going to want to cool it off a little bit, but you know, you definitely can tell that there's a difference between the face and the neck. So I'm going to start cooling that down right now. Maybe add some greens and use that vein technique. That's gonna help. I like painting this way when I'm detailing skin, because it really starts to give you that modeling that really appears in you know, in the epidermis. That means skin. You didn't know that, did you? I made it up. Some blue. And definitely when I'm painting this kind of stuff, I'm taking my time with it. I know we only have so long in here, but you know, it helps to not rush. But you can always just paint over it if you mess it up, so it's not a big deal. Alright, so we can tell already that that blue is a little heavy. This technique is good for shading too, so you can come and hit some of those creases with it as well, and it's not just a flat color going down. So just so you guys know, that's what I did the past couple of shows is what I'm going to be doing going forward, and that's taking a vote on my Instagram page as to what I'm going to work on. So if you're not following me yet, it's Mike T Artworks on Instagram. Just give me a follow, and you know, I'll follow you back, and then just you'll see when I post up images and take a vote as to what I'm going to do. I painted the eyes since the last time too. Those weren't done. Alright, I put up that ear reference and I didn't even do the ears. So let me stop tripping. Go back to the ears. And so for this I'm going to switch to my Alpha 1 and start to get some of those shadow areas. Turn up my intensity and definitely turn on my lazy mouse. Start hitting some of these areas. And just because of the way it's sculpted, you're going to get a shadow in there anyway, but painting it really helps to sell it, especially when you go into an application like KeyShot and do a render. Definitely turn off the lazy snap when you're painting, unless you're, you know, going to paint something that goes for a long distance. The lazy snap really doesn't. It's not your friend in this particular instance. So that's saving. Let's see if we got any questions. Oh, you were asking how I did the pores. I got the pores from Texture XYZ. You find it online, and I think I bought the male face and just kind of used some of the pores from that. So I can tell already that I went a little heavy in some of those spots. So now you can go back in with the brown and maybe use a spray pattern to even it out. Color spray with Alpha 21. Let's see what this looks like here. Turn off the lazy mouse. Another place where the alpha with the veins 45 looks good is right on the jawbone area, because the skin is stretched there, and you get some, you know, you kind of can see through it a little bit. It's not bad to grab a gray in some of these spots and just hit it. Not that, why is it looking like that? intensity. Maybe my brush needs to be bigger. Yeah. This will also cool off some of those yellow areas, which is really good down here for a guy, because it looks like, you know, facial hair, like stubble. All right, so there's the ear with no love and ear with a little more. It also helps for me to take a screenshot if I'm working on an asymmetrical area, because I can get a better idea of how to make it look like it's symmetrical. And I'm sorry if I'm not high energy enough for you guys. It's like when I'm painting, I'm thinking a million different things, and so it's kind of hard to walk and chew gum at the same time for me. Turn up the intensity. Yeah. So you might be asking yourself, why are you doing all this painting if you're just going to use this for a base for a 2D illustration? And that is an excellent question. It's one of those things where, you know, the better your reference is going in, the better your painting's going to be coming out. So it's the difference between getting a, you know, a tiny JPEG image of, let's say, you know, Michael Jackson, and you got to paint him from that, as opposed to having a nice big 4K giant image of him. So having all of this, you know, these facial detail and the colors and all that, when I take it into KeyShot and assign a that's too big, and assign a material that is going to give me some of that subsurface scattering, like skin does get when I light it, then it's going to look even better. You know, like if I put a light behind him, because his ears are thin, that light's going to shine through, and I'm going to get that you know, red on the inside of the ear that you would normally get if somebody was standing in front of a light source, which is pretty cool. Then it's there for when I want to paint. You know, I can either decide to pump it up in my painting, or to you know, just leave it as is. So I wouldn't do this for every piece. Obviously, I don't have this kind of time when clients give me a tight deadline, but it is nice to do from time to time. Now, if I wanted to print this guy out too, and make a statue, I could give this do a couple of really good renders and give this to the painter as reference, so they wouldn't even have to guess. They know exactly what I want. I did do a cavity mask for this and tried to get some of these these creases and stuff on his face, but doesn't always do a great job. So for me it's a lot easier just to go in and just paint those things by hand without a mask, and it really just sets it off. Whoop, didn't mean to do that. It's kind of cool too to after you start getting some paint down, to switch to the flat shader to just really see what you've done, which would probably make a difference if I didn't fill this guy with material. Let me fill him with the flat shader and then I'll just switch. So you can see those colors underneath of the brown really poking through. You can see those greens that I just put in on his jaw and the grays around his mouth. So that's what we're looking for. If it looks like very detailed in the flat shader, then it's going to look even better with whatever you choose. So basic is really dark. Obviously I don't want to use that. Let's go back to my skin shade. There you go. It starts coming to life. Now if we hopped right over to Keyshot with this thing and did a test render, it would probably really look pretty good. I'm going to jump back onto his arms for now, start detailing some of the muscles, and maybe try to get some skin color on there as well. With these, it's very hard to see with this red. I probably shouldn't have just filled them with red. I'm going to start painting some other colors here. Come on now. Like I said, getting used to this new setup. Turn up the intensity. Okay. Does it do anything? Oh. Okay. Don't do what I did. I just colored I was painting with the material, not paint. So, see that? It's the material there. Let's fill it with this material again. Okay. Go back to the skin shade. And let's see what I want to see what the ZBrush skin shade looks like as well. Select something that I don't care about. Skin. Where's my ZBrush? Looks a little metallic. It's always nice to change your, see, that's kind of nice actually. I think he has one for painting too. Oh, this is for painting. Okay, yeah. It's always nice to change your materials just to see, well, that looks much better actually. It's much more punchy. All right, I'm going to stick with this one. Make sure I have my color selected, and let's start just coloring these massive arms. And if you were here last time, you know that the, you know, most of this color is going to disappear anyway, but it's nice to have it there as a base. It's real quick and dirty. All I want to do is to define some of these masses on his arms, the landmarks here, with color, and then that way it's not just going to look like a big kind of brown chunk is on top of his arm here. It's going to look really good when we get to the veins. Folder I want to share with you, or the human ref game, no lighting information, PM and stream. Okay, sounds good. John, that sounds good. Pixelogic's been like, yeah, almost a half an hour now. It's nice to have a chill stream like this. What you trying to say? Am I usually too high strung? It's too chill for you? I need to turn it up now. I really can't. You didn't see me just spill the water on myself either. That's kind of embarrassing. I meant to do that. That's the way I drink. Only 70% of it actually enters my mouth. Let's get off this spray, and I can really start detailing the thing. Turn down the draw size. I'm going to lay in some of these shadow areas heavy at first, and then kind of smooth them out later. I just want to see what I'm doing, and it's kind of hard with this red. Oh, it's too big. Back up. Back up now. There you go. Promise you guys, it's gonna look good. Looks terrible now. It will look good later. You gotta see past the garbage. For me, whether it's painting 2D or 3D, it's all kind of a waiting game. You know, I used to be real impatient back when I first started my career, but I noticed that there's no shortcuts to getting a good, you know, finished painting. You put in the time. Let's turn that opacity down a little bit. And turn on my lazy mouse. That's much better. I have a lot of fun painting arms. I know with the Hulk I really enjoyed it, because he's mostly arm. But that was fun. I just realized I had saved in a half an hour. Not good. Save. Let's see if we got any questions while that's saving. Use the same technique on a face. Hey, what's up, Edge Est? Angst. What's my screen resolution? 3840 by 2160. I tried to use this technique. My model turned out having slightly yellow black head, and I had to readjust the painting. Trying to make a dark black skin. Well, what you could do is, even if your colors aren't perfect when you're done, like there's areas of his head that were either too red or too yellow or whatever, it's good to go in with that that vein alpha with your you know, the brown that you'd like for it to be, and just kind of lightly put it on over top of that. What's going to happen is those colors that you don't like will be underneath, and they'll peek you through just a little bit, but it's going to be way more interesting than if you just were to paint the right skin tone that you're looking for. And it's the I mean, from the jump, you know, and it's the same, it's literally the same technique for any skin color. So doesn't matter whether it's, you know, Yondu or you know, Kate Beckinsale. Those two are related, right? A little bit. I don't know where that came from. I'm going to attempt to drink some more water without spilling on myself. I'm awesome. Didn't spill it. Dropped that time. Okay. And you'll see me color picking from the model itself. That's part of the reason why I really love poly painting. Is because that's the way that I paint in real, you know, in real life. In real life with my 2D stuff. So I'll lay down a few tones on my canvas and then color pick from them to get exactly what I'm looking for the entire painting. If you guys missed my, I had a webinar last week with Corel for my Spider-Gwen painting. and that started off in ZBrush as a model, and I used that as a base for a 2D illustration that let me just show it to you real quick. If you missed it, you might want to check it out. It came out pretty cool. Oh, not that. Let's see. How am I doing on time? Wait, this is 2 hours, right? Still got an hour and 15 minutes? Yeah, I'm good. Clients, Corel. No. Yeah, so it was this one. So check that out if you want to see how I did this thing that's on my screen. It's free. So I had a friend who told me that I should save out a version of the poly paint with these clown colors, because I can use that as a not luminescence, subdermal pass when I go to render it. Why is it so orangey? Somebody's playing. My mic is doing those colors. Oh, these colors are just a base. So what's going to happen is once this is done, I'm going to overlay the brown on top of it, but in varying opacity, so they'll punch through a little bit. And that's how you can see some reds and yellows and greens in his face, because that's the way I did his face as well. Just maybe check out last week's stream, last 2 weeks ago, my stream when I was painting the head, and you'll see. Or just watch the rest of this one and you'll see it as well. It's really up to you. I give choices here. This is where the patience kicks in, because everybody always wants to jump right to the actual skin color. Just wait for it. I just realized I'm going to be very upset if the shirt doesn't cover up all the way down to his arm. Where does the shirt kick in? I got to find the cuffs. Okay. Cool. Let's just make those yellow for now. See that this should be set to, and only, yeah, just have to adjust it. It wasn't quite covering up where I wanted to cover. Alright, so now I can hide the cuffs again. I just wanted to make sure that they were that I didn't paint all this and then realize that I have, you know, part of the arm that's sticking out from underneath of it. Standard. Oh, turn down my intensity. Now, obviously, when I move on to the rest of him, I'm not going to do these clown colors. Like, this is only just for skin. I will give you guys a heads up now if you're watching. I have another webinar next week with Ryan Kingsland for my ZBrush Workshops class. It's going to be an in-depth version of basically my workflow, which is the sculpting to painting pipeline for illustration. So if you have a few minutes, stop by and check that out. That's also free. The class is, I think he has it set up two ways, where you can either pay for the live sessions, which is an 8-week, 6-week class, 8-week class, and the or you can do on demand, which is less expensive, but you can't ask me questions, you know, live and all that. But the thing next week is totally free, so if you have time, check it out. All right. So what I like to do when I get to the veins is just start to punch them up a little bit. This is where the lazy mouse comes in really handy. So I'll usually just kind of define a shadow. Doesn't matter which way it's going to be lit. This is just kind of, it's faking the shadow a little bit. And then I can see what I'm doing. This one on his bicep is hard to read because I have all these colors. See it now. And because they're filled with blood and they're in the vein, I usually go with like a greenish color. And you don't want to do too many passes, so I usually turn up the opacity and try to hit it on the first go. It's going to look really good when you put the skin over top of it, by the way. Too green, a little too punchy. But that's a really big vein, so I think I'll be all right. Constantly changing my draw size. Veins are one of those things I spend extra time on when I'm sculpting and painting, because if you get it right, it's like the icing on the cake. It really sells the piece. But if it's very easy to, you know, kind of rush it and it looks silly, you know, like he's got tubes on his arms or little worms or something. See if we got any questions. None. Not a single one. No questions. That either means that you are losing interest or I am killing it right now. I hope it's the second. All right, so that's kind of good for this arm. Some of those areas where there's deeper creases, I want to get a little bit of a darker color in here. Okay. So it looks messy now. It's okay. It's going to look better. This will be red. All right, let's get to this other one. What's going to be easier is I will do a few screen grabs. You know what? Forget that, because I don't want to turn off his head. I'll just leave it on. Normally I would just isolate the thing that I want, get a few pics of the one that's done, and use that as reference for the other one. Because when I rotate it around, his other arm kind of gets in the way sometimes. I got a whole lot of streams to catch up on. I've been working on this project that's it's been taking all my time, so I haven't been able to watch the ZBrush lives in about a week and a half, and a little bummed out. I know I'm missing some good stuff. It took me a while to wrap my head around this, even with the book, this technique. In fact, a friend of mine, Chris Moffat, hopped in a ZBrush, in a Google Hangout with me, and kind of walked me through it. He's working on this cool Orcs Must Die project, and he painted an orc with green skin, but using the same technique. And it just looks so amazing. Like, it really looked like this dude was really alive. So I was like, yo, you gotta show me that, man. And he was nice enough to do that for me. When you changed from the Intuos to the Cintiq, did you say I should have switched years ago? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Cintiq. It's awesome, but I'm also married and have kids, so it took me a while to be able to make that move. In fact, I think the only way that I talked my wife into going for it was the fact that I was getting problems with my wrist. I was working on a project for Warner Brothers and had to paint so many guys that I was painting all the time, and I literally almost blew out my wrist. So I got a Cintiq and I put an Ergotron arm on it, and I was able to take it to, you know, move it around and do all this other stuff, as opposed to just keeping very still with my hand down and doing this all day long. That's how I paint, by the way. Pro tip. You want to be really good, you got to paint like this. That's how you do it. Don't tell anybody I told you that, though. I feel like I've grown attached to you guys, so I can tell you. Keep hitting the wrong button. The other thing too, this monitor is awesome. It's really big, so I have my keyboard off to the side and I'm hitting the wrong button. I don't know if you guys are noticing. Okay, let me see. Oh man, that's better. Yeah, I was hitting the wrong button a lot, so I'm hitting the mask instead of the space bar. I should probably save. Probably be a good idea. I'm just hoping I'm going to make it through this stream without my glasses breaking, because they are loose. One of these arms is about to fall off, and I don't have any contacts left. So if these glasses break, I'm done. I'm going to be wrapping tape around them like I had to do back in the 5th grade. What's going on with this arm? Let me see something real quick. That's not good. Yeah. I don't remember this being here before. I have some really bad pinching that I didn't want to have. Just want to try to smooth it out a little bit. I don't know when I did that, but smooth it out without getting rid of all of my skin detail. Alright, let's see what we got now. Come on, fella. Just get in the place I want you to get. There you go. Sorry about that. All right. Back on these arms. So I'm almost to the point where I can start to lay on my skin tones. And he's going to be wearing gloves, so I don't care about the hands. All right, solo it out. We don't need eyes floating in the background. Okay, what am I doing? So now I'm just going to go in with the red and start unifying these colors a little bit. I usually like to do that so it's not quite so broken up. And when I put the brown on, it's going to tie it all together with a nice little bow. So that's good enough for that. Let's put the veins in. Okay, again, gonna just kind of define where they are. And then paint them in. I didn't sculpt as many as I thought, but it doesn't matter because I can just paint them in. All right, so I think it's magic time. I think it's time to lay that sweet, sweet skin on top of here. this thing look like a human. Oh, I missed one. Right there. Okay. So for this, we need to bring back the head so I can make sure I know what I'm doing. Okay. Definitely want to mask that guy. I want to see my color, so I'll mask it and I'll hide the mask. See if we got any questions here. Glue glasses to face. Yeah. Yeah. You should paint like how you showed or sculpt too. I don't understand that. 27 QHD is nice. That's very nice. Wacom is releasing a 32 next year. I've heard that. I have heard. 32 is like painting on a wall. How dare you, Video Nomad. With 32, they're going to do a 19 or 22. I don't remember. Cool. All right, so let's hide the mask and let's get some skin on this fella. Where's my mask? Masking, view mask. Okay, cool. So you can hide that. Going to choose a base color. I don't want it to be too red because he's already kind of red. Let me start with something like that. Turn down my RGB intensity. And let's do make sure RGB is the only thing I have selected, and let's start doing some fills. Let's actually dock the color over here so I have easy access to it. And start filling. I'm just doing it slowly until I start to tie the colors together. Maybe adjust my color here. It's too light. Now the trick with this is you want to fill it enough to get rid of the the garish colors, but you don't want to fill it so much that you lose them altogether. So that's why I usually keep to a low opacity. And I can also adjust around my color between warm and cool. You can see it's not too shabby, right? So that's a good starting space right there. So now I can go in and start to hit some of those creases and really make it look like it's popping here. Can we have a link to the book you mentioned? Yes, I will find it. Look up, at the time it was Scott Spencer, it wasn't Maddie yet, so look up Scott Spencer, I think either ZBrush Fundamentals or Learning ZBrush. Let me see real quick. Where's my... ZBrush Character Creation Advanced. It's going to look like... Golly. Sorry, the type is tiny. The resolution is I like having high resolution, but it makes everything so teeny. So it's gonna probably look, I think this is the new cover. This isn't the cover that I had, but that's the book. Let me get you a link. I know it's on Amazon. Let's see. Amazon, here it is. They keep changing the cover, but the link is right here. Oh, no worries, no worries. Sneeman, Alien on Front, 2nd edition. The book never existed. Character creation. Is that what I just said? Yeah, that's the one. Yep, cool. Yeah, man, I got a lot out of that book. So now, see, you still can see the reds underneath of there, and the veins. This is what I was talking about, like the veins really look awesome when you put skin on top. Who knew, you know, that the green looked really stupid before you lay down the color, and then you put it in there and bam, you're all good. So now I want to be careful with laying down the colors in the crease, because I don't want it to look out of place, and I don't want it to look cartoony either. So because that blue is under there, underneath of the brown, it's already doing a lot of the work for me. Let's look at a little Terry Crews again. This is my favorite part. Like, when you, for me, I don't know, I've been painting all my life, so being able to sculpt, which I love doing, and then painting too is just like, man, it's the best. Especially when it's for yourself, you know, there's not a whole lot of pressure. I think I was talking last session about just kind of taking your time with these things. I know everybody's into speed sculpting and getting things together really fast, but I just want to enjoy it, you know. I'll rush through these if I don't have to. Now, if somebody's paying me, then, you know, obviously I'm going to blast through it, make it look as good as I can, but I want to have fun with it. And just to break it up even more, I'm going to hit some of those dark areas with the color spray so they don't look quite so flat. and that again just sells the whole skin look. So now, how much time I have left? Okay, now I'm going to switch back to the freehand stroke and the vein alpha, which is alpha 45, and I'm going to start breaking up the skin surface by choosing a little lighter color, maybe a little less saturated. And then I'm going to go over this whole thing. Let's see what we have here. Let's turn off the lazy mouse. No, that's not right. Color spray is what I want. No, sorry. Drag rec. Drag rec is what I want. That's what I want. Yeah. Can you guys see this on your screen? I don't know if it's coming through or not, because it's kind of subtle, but it really just sells the fact that this is skin and not just paint. Oh, don't want it that big. Also going to go with something a little lighter and less saturated. Not quite so intense either. Turn down the intensity. And just switching between the saturation, turning it up, turning it down, and just breaking up those areas accordingly. It's going to make it look a lot more real. So I can tell already that as much as I like this, it's a lot more saturated than his head, which is going to be a problem. So now I can go back and select a less saturated color, maybe like an ochre type of a color. turn down the saturation and start to fill these areas. I want to make sure that I still have my mask on. Do I? I don't. So I would have filled the head. I want to make sure the head is masked. And then hide the mask. Don't want to do that. And then let's do some fill. Okay. A little better. Maybe a little more gray. Okay, it's getting a little light though. So you know what? I'll spray it on. Yeah. It's better just to use my brush and put it on there, because then I can just hit it strategically. Certain spots, and I don't have to make the entire thing look that shade. The spray pattern's a little larger than what I'd like. Just turn it down a little bit and shrink down the size of my brush. That's better. Any questions? Let's see. Looking rad. Thanks, ZBrush. Nailed it. Good. Half an hour left. All right. Ooh, too much. Alright, so I can already tell what I'm going to end up doing with this piece once this session is over with is going in and correcting the tone to feel, you know, between the head and the arms, because right now they're just radically different. That's again one of the problems that happens when you don't paint everything at one time. So just one to grow on. I'm going to switch to my flat color to see what's happening here. Looks like I had my material on for part of this. So let's just do a fill with the flat color. Not color, material, sorry. Keep my thing. Let's see what skin shade looks like. Yes, skin shade. See, what happens is there's a lot of specularity that's giving me too much shine. It's hard to see what I'm doing. That's why I like the ZBrush paint. I'm still getting a little bit of it, but those colors are a little more natural. So it's looking a little flat. Going to go in now and punch up some of those areas where the muscles transition from one to the other. I keep forgetting I have my color right here. Anything happening here? Ah, painting with material again. Always don't do that. What I just did, don't do it. It's wrong. It's very wrong. Another thing you can do is move your light source around. That's going to help as well. I'm just looking for areas that stand out as like problems. Turned off my lazy mouse, so I want that on. It's funny, you can get something looking really awesome and then move your lighting and realize it's a mess. So it's very good to move that around. Oh, I see that I missed part of the vein too. Too much. It's a little more green. Some of these veins are so fine it's hard to see them. Which probably means I shouldn't worry about it. Okay, so let's get to the other arm. Wait a minute. One more thing. So you guys let me know. I mean, do you enjoy these type of streams, or do you want me to get more into, you know, the 2D side, or more into the sculpting side? Like, I know there's a lot of people sculpting on here, but you know, I like to think that everybody's stuff is different enough that that's an option. But you gotta let me know. You know, I don't want to do something that you guys are just like, oh man, when's he gonna be done? And remember, you know, serious. I'm trying to really get people on the Instagram, because I want to have content that you'll only find there. So like, that's where I'm gonna have the voting for what I do on the ZBrush Live. Probably save. Have I tried 3D Coat? You know, I bought 3D Coat when they had their Christmas sale. I have to learn it, but I have 3D Coat, Painter, Substance Painter, you know, this, and what else did I buy? Something else. I want to learn all those things, but for now what I'm doing is you know, I got a lot of work that I'm working on for clients, and I don't have time to learn new applications, but you know, I really do like, I don't like messing with UVs. You know, I'll be completely honest, it took me forever to even learn what a UV was, but you know, I can do it now, but I would rather paint on the model than paint. I know you can paint on the model in Substance, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's my machine or what, but the time that it takes between a stroke and the time that it takes, there's just enough of a lag that it bothers me. So I'm perfectly happy in here for now, painting with poly paints. Alright, so now you can just see that other arm just looks crazy flat because we haven't done anything to it. Let's fix that. Yeah, I like this part of it so much that, you know, if I would probably do it for a living if I could. Just painting dope models. Now I can see already that the I don't know what I did, but there's not a whole lot of texture on this arm. So the good thing about it is I can turn off the poly paint at any time and go in and add that. The one thing that also means is that I'm not going to get a good cavity mask, because if I turn this off, tool, if I turn off the color, go to my basic color, or basic material rather. Come on, man. Basic material. I mean, look at the difference. It's crazy. I must have done some correction over here and just really smoothed the crap out of it and forgot to texture it. I gotta rectify that. You can see I keep painting with the material. Not good. Easy enough to fix. That was the biggest thing. When I first started using ZBrush, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was painting with material, and I would be done, and I'd have part of the model covered with like some reflective thing, and then the other part would be a basic material, and I couldn't figure out. I thought it was permanent. I didn't think you could clear it, and so I was like, oh man, I ruined it. Oh God, what did I just do? I don't want to fill with color. I want to fill material. There it is. Not skin shade, ZBrush paint. There you go. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of out of it today. I don't know what the deal is. Feeling a little not 100%. How am I doing on time? 15 minutes about. Damn it, I'm painting with material again. Sorry. It's my bad. Keep forgetting to switch. There you go. You know, one thing people don't know about me is I'm actually a pretty stable genius when it comes to this. I'm also like pretty smart, so got that going for me. Because this arm is not really textured, I'm not going to worry about taking that to 100%. What I am going to do is mask by cavity the other arm. And actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's hide everything but this one. And let's see if we can get some pores in here. Terry Crews, I don't need you anymore. You can go. All right. So now, let's see if we can get some pores going on. Masking. Mask by cavity. I'm definitely going to want to mess with this curve. This is one of those instances where flat color is going to really help. I keep filling it with material. It's crazy. Unless I didn't have my intensity turned up all the way when I filled it. Get it right, I swear. Nope, totally not. That's what I want. Okay. Switch back. Now, mask by cavity. It's hard to tell. Let's turn off the color so I can see what's going on here. Now let's mask by cavity. Is it doing anything? It's very flat. Turn up the intensity. There you go. That was crazy, you guys. Okay. Turn up the blur a little bit. No. Turn it off. And just want to get those pits. And you can see it's also kind of highlighting the veins. That's going to be nice. So now I will invert the selection. See something. Yeah, invert the selection, hide the mask. Let's turn back on our color and switch to, no, we can keep it flat filled for now. Yeah, that's what I want. All right, so I'm going to go with a spray on this one. Just kind of turn off the lazy mouse, turn down the intensity. Just kind of hit these areas a little bit. Even this one could have more texturing to it. There's not a whole lot of pores going on. But good thing is I can go back and do that later. Hit those little creases in the elbow, that's going to be nice. Okay. Let's see it with the correct material. A little heavy, but it's alright because these are small and I can, while it's masked, I can just blur it a little bit make sure that I only have the RGB selected and I can blur it back just a little bit. Okay. So now we can go and mask it a little bit more, get some more of those areas. This is what I did off camera last time. You know, it's not super exciting to see the process, but the end result is pretty exciting. So I would just mess with my curve a little bit, do a remask. Now you can see I got a lot more in there, which is nice. Am I doing on time? 10 minutes. Invert it, hide the mask. Now I can come in with a brown that is maybe a little more saturated, a little darker, and hit those areas. You see that? Just kind of makes the whole thing jump off. And again, if it's too heavy, you just hit it with the blur. I have my blur intensity turned up too high. I'm going to turn that down. Yeah, then it doesn't completely just get rid of what you wanted. It's pretty convincing, right? I mean, this looks like skin. Yeah? Where's the twitch thing? There it is. All right, let's see what we got. I went and modified my ZBrush interface, so that's why it may not look all that intuitive. Let's see, everyone switch to ZBrush. So cool. Okay, you guys got your own side conversation going on. Okay. Would you be talking bad about ZBrush, you guys? You talk about ZBrush in here. Where's my light? Let's move the light around. Maybe try a BPR right quick. Let's see, render. Properties. Render, shadow. Turn up the rays a little bit. Right, so that's skin. Okay, 253. Just turn on everything else. The rest of it looks ridiculous now. Where's my other stuff? Turn on everything. Got 2 pairs of pants. I got extra stuff on here. All right, so next time I can either keep cooking on Bishop or do something else. I'm going to keep filibustering for Rick and Morty because that's what I want to work on next. But you guys join me on join me on Instagram and let me know what you want me to do, and I'll do that. All right. So this is what we got so far, and I can see already. Let's fix that part of the arm. Do I have enough time? Yeah, I got time. Paint it up too high. It's going to look really kind of nice when I start detailing the clothing. That's always fun. And the muscles. Let's move this arm, or not the arm, let's move the gun. Turn off the gun. Turn off the handkerchief. Maybe I can start filling some of these things real quick. Shoulder pad. That one. This is not even. Is that the right one? That's not the right one. I've been working on this so long I have multiple subtools.
Yeah, that's the right one. I guess I didn't sculpt the shoulder pad yet. Alright, so we'll be sculpting and painting. A little bit of both. Fill that. The belt has got dynamic subdivisions on it, and I grouped it with something that doesn't, which means can't see them. There you go. It's split hidden. There you go. Let's fill that with some color. Get some color on these pouches. Lost my shoulder pad. Here it is. Cool. All right, guys. So I will. I'll be working on something next time. Maybe some more of this. Let's see. It's looking good. Thanks, man. A lot of lags. There's lags in the stream. That's not good. Might just be me being low energy today. You know, they call me low energy Mike today. It's for 3D printing, not 2D print. You're going to throw some surface noise on the clothes. Absolutely. Yeah, these clothes are mad soft right now. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. Don't you worry about that. Those colors of the skin, the way you laid them, awesome. Thank you. The lips, I did not use alphas, and they still don't have a lot of texture. I'll probably subdivide the head another time or two and then add some more detail on those. But glad you guys like it. And we'll keep going. Maybe, I know you guys want to get to that hair. Maybe next time I'll do hair. What's it look like without it, since it looks cartoony now? Turn off the hair. Definitely going to fix the facial hair because he needs eyebrows, but it looks really cartoony compared to everything else right now. So we'll get it. All right. Thanks for stopping by, you guys. I will see you on the next one. And thanks for joining me. All right. Peace.